Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beaumont Scout Reservation in beautiful St. Louis, Missouri. We're here with our den today, and we're getting ready to go on an outdoor adventure. All right, guys, let's get close. Let's talk a little bit about the things we need for our adventure today. All right. First things first. What's the one thing? Because it's a little warm out here today, isn't it? What's the one thing we need? Water, right? So we got our water. All right, what's the next thing we need? What happens sometimes you go hiking, you might get hungry. What happens when you get hungry? You trail mix. Sometimes when you go hiking, you get hungry, you get grumpy, you get out of energy. So we brought some snacks too. We brought a little bit of granola with us and a couple of energy bars, right? So we got those. Now, what happens if we go hiking and it's real sunny out like today? What do we need? Sunscreen. That's right. We got some sunscreen. And we got my hat, so I can put my hat on my head when we get started too. That'll keep the sun out of my eyes and the sweat out of my eyes, right? And then what happens if it gets real dark and we get lost? What else are we going to need? A flashlight. That's right. So now we got a flashlight here as well. All right. But what happens, we're going to talk more about this here in a second. What do we need to make a real loud noise in case we get lost?
Whistle.
A whistle, that's right. So look, we got our little whistle here in case we get lost. We're going to talk about using that here in a second too. And what's the very last thing? What happens if we get a cut or a little bruise or something like that while we're walking? Yep. First aid kit, that's right. So we got our little first aid kit too in our backpack. Okay? Now, it's really important when we're on these adventures that you got to have a buddy so you can keep track of each other. So why don't you grab the person's hand or the person's hand you're next to and hold their hand up high. That is your buddy. You're charged of making sure you know exactly where your buddy goes the entire time, all right? All right, you can let go of your buddy's hand. Okay. So we talked about the buddy system. It's important to have your buddy because while we're on our adventure today, let's talk about what happens if you get separated from the group. It's important to remember three little letters. S-A-W. Stay, answer, whistle. If you get lost out there today, just remember S-A-W, or SAW. Stay where you're at, answer when someone's yelling for you, and if nothing else, if no one's finding you still, stay exactly where you are and use that whistle and blow it 3 times. S-A-W. What are you going to be answering? Yep, you're going to be answering if someone's yelling your name. Okay? You might not think you're lost. You might just be looking at a cool rock in the creek, right? And we might be yelling, Luke! Luke! You better yell back, I'm over here! So let's give it a try. Luke!
I'm over here.
Drake!
I'm over here.
Lucy!
I'm over here.
Grayson!
I'm over here.
You gotta be louder than that. Say I'm over here really loud. 1, 2, 3.
I'm over here!
Perfect. Perfect. And the last thing we do, if you're completely lost and no one's hollering your name, you get your whistle out, okay? And you blow that whistle 3 times. How many times?
3.
1, 2, 3. You blow it as loud as you can. And that lets us know that you're lost and we're going to come find you. And you keep blowing that whistle until somebody comes and gets you. Okay? 3 times and that's it. All right? The other thing we want to talk about while we're here today is the fact that we are in the animal's home. Okay? So because we're in the animal's house, we want to make sure that we are good to them as if we had guests at our own home. We don't throw rocks at the animals. We don't try to chase the deer and ride them like ponies or anything like that, okay? All we do is we take pictures, we look at them. Oh, look, there's one over there. And we just look at them and observe them in their own natural habitat. We don't want to run them off, right? We got to be kind to our animal friends. All right? So, do we have any? Does anybody have any questions? All right. I think we're ready for our adventure. Let's get all of our stuff here. Everybody's got their water, right? All right. Let's go on our adventure, guys. All right. We're going to go this way. All right. Follow me. Stay with your buddy.